All right, guys, we are back with round 3. I'm Justin, here with Rob, and we got our final match for you guys. It's Trey versus Brian, and Trey is running a minions deck, is what he likes to call it.
Minions.
Yes, the very first deck that he actually built in Awakenings was 2 Stormtroopers, Night Sister, and what was it? I don't remember what the fourth character was. Maybe it was two Night Sisters.
Maybe so.
But, anyways,
we actually had a
no, it was Balatik.
Bala, yeah,
that's right.
We actually had at the last store championship we played. There was actually a 4-character deck that made the top 4. It was quite interesting.
I'm assuming Pumas did not show up.
No, the only 2 Pumas that showed up were me and Trey Henderson, and we were also in the top 4. So. He didn't stand much of a chance after top 4, but Trey played him first round after the top 4 cut, and basically does what Pumas does.
So anyways, Trey really loves his 4-character minions decks, and this time he's switched the Night Sister and Balatik for an Enforcer and a TIE Pilot.
I like the addition of TIE Pilot.
And so we got Brian on the left, and he's playing Luke Ray. I apologize for the for that. We had it still showing Vader Guard from the last round. We're gonna get that fixed real quick. So Luke Ray against a 4-character deck is gonna be extremely difficult. They can do a lot of burst damage quickly, which makes it a great deck against the 2-character lists and sometimes the 3-character lists. But being able to outlast possibly an endless ranks, possibly 2, is not an easy task for the Luke Ray deck, unless everything just goes perfectly for them.
He's gonna have to have a pretty good opening draw. His ideal, he's gonna want a 4-speed vibro. To be honest with you,
I mean,
if he can do that, he will have he will even the playing field a little bit more. I think so.
And here's where losing Luke early can really, really hurt, because dropping the damage output and having to go through that much health on the other side of the board, it's gonna be really important for Brian to just do max damage every single turn.
And Trey is a very he's a pretty seasoned player. He's a pretty good player, so I imagine Trey is probably going to go after Luke first. That's going to be the right choice.
So Trey drawn up, he gets both Aftermath in his opening hand. I do not see a win condition for Brian right now. I am sorry.
Double Aftermath in any 3-character deck,
or 4-character,
triple Death Trooper, any three or above, yeah. Triple Death Trooper, 4-character decks. Double Aftermath basically says I'm going to be able to play what I want when I want.
So Trey run the roll off. He decided to pick his battlefield, Mos Eisley Spaceport, the most benign battlefield in the game.
And what does that do, Justin?
Although it lets you return an upgrade to your hand and gain a resource, which actually I think will help Brian out a lot if he gets his 4-speed.
Luke Ray doesn't mind seeing that so much if they get 4-speed, which it doesn't look like he did.
The biggest benefit of Mos Eisley for Luke Ray is that you don't lose an action. That's one of the downsides of it, is that when you claim and you pull that upgrade back in your hand, if you want to play it again, it costs you that extra action. It slows you down a little bit.
So he remembers his draw off of Luke activation. The more games Brian gets under his belt, the better he's going to be, especially playing with that combination. So
it looks like Luke rolled a
double sticks and a blink.
Yes, and Trey's just deciding whether he wants to. Yep, and he decides to mitigate that.
Such a good card. I'm so sorry, guys. I know I say that a lot, but flank. Was that flank? Yeah, I believe that was flank. Yeah, flank. I love flank so much. If you're playing anything more than 2 characters, you're going to throw flank in there.
Yeah, Father Gabe says that Luke Ray can't do damage fast enough to keep up like Ray Padawan can, and I think I'd have to agree.
That's totally right.
It does a lot of burst quickly, sometimes faster than the Padawan's deck, but that's only when it draws really well. And
so Trey dropped an Aftermath, and he also has is that a Drudge Work? What does
Yeah,
Drudge
this
Work
is-
do again?
Drudge Work is a one cost, or no, it's a zero cost support that lets you exhaust a non-unique character and gain a resource.
Gain a resource. Yeah.
So not something that sees a lot of play, but it's something that Trey had in his original minions deck, and it is really effective whenever you do need that resource. You know, just to guarantee it.
That with the aftermath. Yeah, Trey's not going to have resource problems at all in this game, I don't think.
Man, it would have been hilarious if he had Underworld Connections in his hand as well.
That would be ugly. It looks like Brian's basically passing. He's going to let Trey get some dice out into the dice pool right now.
So the TIE Pilot's die is in the pool, which means that Brian actually can't remove
Right.
Trey's other range dice.
And
So it looks like he's playing to deflect, and he can only deflect that TIE Pilot die. And so it looks like Trey's explaining that to him right now, because Brian hasn't played against the TIE Pilot before. TIE Pilot is so strong.
So
Rob.
such a good card.
Yeah, I'm really surprised it doesn't see more play. We do have the Unkar's TIE Pilot's deck. But, and
that you would not play for me last weekend as much as I begged you for it.
And some of the or most of the 4-character lists have like a TIE Pilot.
Yeah,
or two.
TIE Pilots. One, if you're playing ranged, their die side is a really good die. With their die is really good with all the modified range, and then the ability you're getting on top of that is so good.
So Trey decided to go ahead and resolve that 1 damage on eLuke, and that's not a bad play in case Brian had some other way to control it, which I don't think he does, but I would have thought about leaving it in the pool in case he got that +1 on the Guavian Enforcer, but the Guavian automatically lets him remove it to remove a shield.
Yeah, but then he still had the First Order, and First Order has 3 unmodified damage sides, so...
Oh, so he did have the other deflect. Man, that is a great opening hand.
Yeah. Double deflect.
Although he didn't get any upgrades, he did save quite a bit of damage, but now he doesn't have any deflects anymore that Trey has to worry about.
Yeah,
play around.
Trey goes ahead and activates Drudge Work to get a resource to drop Backup Muscle.
Backup Muscle's still such a good card.
Such a good card.
I don't know why people don't play it.
Dodging a shield, you're not hitting shields with it. You're placing it on the card. So Backup Muscle gets you there. That's the way I like to put Backup Muscle. It gets you there.
It gets you there faster than if you didn't have it.
And you don't have to worry about shields. You know, if you have a character that's 2 damage away from if you're 2 damage away from winning the game, and you have 2 damage on your Backup Muscle, you have the game won. You just have to last. You know, it just gets you there.
So Trey draws up. He's got a F11D rifle, which could be beneficial. Redeploying and bouncing around between his guys. He's got. He also had Underworld Connections, and he got an Endless Ranks, which you really don't want to see it this early.
Not this early, definitely.
But I imagine he's going to hang on to it.
Now, remind me what Underworld Connections does again?
Underworld Connections is a 2-cost yellow villain upgrade that lets you exhaust it to gain a resource. So it does take 3 turns for it to finally pay itself back.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get it in the early game, in the first or second turn, then it can be very helpful.
Yeah, it looks like Brian's Luke die aren't cooperating with him very much right now. He did roll that focus. No resources though. He dropped Vibro Knife.
So first action he chose to activate Luke, and second action Roland Ray. He does have a 1 damage on the Vibro Knife. And
there comes Underworld Connections, looks like.
I think this is one of the things that Trey really likes about the 4-character minions deck, is that he doesn't have to rush his turns. He can just slow play and meticulously think about...
claim.
Exactly.
You're not going to claim. If you're claiming with a 4-character deck, you're in a bad way.
And that's one of the things that was really interesting, is because when Spirit of Rebellion came out, he switched almost exclusively to playing Pomaz, which is the fastest deck in the game.
Yeah, it wasn't... It was definitely against his normal flow of deck building, but... He did say several times that this season he did want to do very well, and if you want to win, play the best deck, and Pomaz is the best deck. Now maybe you can have an argument for tied for best deck, but it is still one of the top decks, if not the top deck. So, and I believe Trey is also going to Nova, and so he definitely wanted as much practice with that Pokemon as possible. So, don't fault him for that.
So Brian played a caution on raised dice, and Trey went ahead and gained a resource with backup muscle. And Trey still hasn't rolled into character.
Yeah, I think there's probably gonna be a lot of reading on Brian's side with all the cards Trey's playing that don't normally see play, even if you play the game a lot. So, Trey's just, man, a lot of setting himself up with that deck.
Now he's only done 1 damage with the backup muscle. He took off a couple shields from Luke, but
yeah, he hasn't gotten any damage through yet. Those deflects helped with that though. So see that second flank coming out, getting rid of that focused Luke die, and that also something else. Not just building up to play something big on Trey's side, but just guaranteeing having that 1 or 2 extra resources for extra die mitigation. That's going to help a lot. So it looks like he's finally going to roll a character in. And that TIE Pilot looks like a +2.
And you don't even care what that TIE Pilot rolls.
Yeah, you don't care.
You just want it there for the
control. Get it on the board. Just get it on the board.
Because if your characters roll damage, and then your opponent can't do anything about it.
And it looks like 2 for 1 on the first order Stormtrooper.
And he's already used that Underworld Connections, and doesn't have any resources since he spent it on the flank. So
he can drudge work.
Oh, that's right. He still has drudge work.
Is that is that a Polish first order Stormtrooper on the left? That's what it looks like.
It is Polish.
Yeah, that's a Polish version. Nice.
So Brian is playing Confidence, and he can play that because it's forcing your opponent to resolve it. And since he's resolving the Stormtrooper die, it's not being removed per the TIE Pilot's ability. So he should be able to play that card. I guess Trey thought it didn't work like that. I mean, it still would be 2 damage going in, and I'm pretty sure that Trey's going to be able to find another black side to resolve the TIE Pilot die with.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, because that'd be resolving the die, not removing the die, right?
Yeah, and the way that TIE Pilot's card read, it's while the die is in your pool, your opponent cannot remove your die showing range damage.
Cannot remove them, but resolving is not removing.
Exactly.
He's basically forcing Trey to do it anyway. He's not doing anything. You're forcing your opponent to resolve it. So
and that's another thing we don't see much is that the Guayavi Enforcer actually has an ability.
Yes, taking shields away, and it looks like it's actually kind of coming into play here.
So if your opponent has shields, Guayavi Enforcer is always a damage.
Oh, that's what it was. He couldn't he didn't. Trey was telling him it wasn't the best idea to do it before because Trey didn't have a resource to resolve it, so nothing would have happened.
Oh, I see.
He waited for Trey to get a resource, and then, then he can confidence that die because then Trey has to resolve it having a resource on hand. So that's what that was. Okay, good deal.
Yes, confidence is.
And Trey claims.
Confidence is not like doubt. And a lot of people make that mistake that they can confidence a resource side if your opponent doesn't have resources to remove it, or they can confidence a modifier to get rid of it, but it doesn't work like that. So both players drawn up for the next round, and Trey decides to get rid of the F11D rifle. He keeps endless ranks and cannon fodder. If you're Trey, do you get rid of that F11D? I mean, I guess you're going to draw into more weapons, but I don't know what he's really digging for. Because he already has an endless ranks in hand. He doesn't need to...
I think he's going more... I don't know. Maybe just looking for more mitigation. Is that a Crime Lord in his hand?
No, it's 2 holdout blasters.
I thought I saw a Crime Lord. I was like, what? Of course, leave it. I could picture Trey doing something like that in a 4-character deck, Crime Lord. You.
I mean, we have a local Phasma player that I've seen play Crime Lord and Prize Possession in his Phasma deck.
I think I saw that at one of the store championships. I think he played that deck.
So Brian drops a Makashi training on Ray, which is always good. Get more damage. It's still not great. I mean, he does have the Vibro Knife to help get some base damage. Still a very low damage game here.
Yeah, not much damage has been done, and not a
And
great roll from
I'm not
Ray.
sure who has the better board state at this point. I mean, Trey's got a lot of supports, but Brian has two pretty good
Almost
damage
full,
dealing
yeah,
upgrades.
full health characters also. You know, the fact that damage hadn't been done. Trey does drop a holdout blaster. I think if you're Trey here, you're starting to look to turn up the damage some.
Definitely, you probably want to discard to reroll a few times and try to get some good damage out on.
Yeah, you do.
And with Ray having 2 upgrades now, do you think there's more value in going after her, or do you think you still kill Luke?
I think it's a toss-up. I think you could justify going either way. Me personally, I'd probably still go after Luke because Ray's dice still aren't the greatest. And my ally is the Force on a Luke focus. It just starts getting kind of retarded. So I think I still go after Luke in this situation, but I think Trey definitely needs to start turning up the heat because on the Luke Ray player side, yeah, it's not bursting enough damage, but if the game's going long, his 2 or 3 damage adds up better than Trey's does.
Exactly.
You know, he's taking out characters eventually with his 2 or 3 damage. So I think Trey has to turn up the heat here.
Trey has an interesting choice here. He can either play best defense or cannon fodder. I think I would just go ahead and play best defense and remove both of Luke's dice.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what he decides to do. So now Brian is forced to reroll both of his dice unless he decides to take that shield. And he's gonna play it slow and just go ahead and willpower. So Trey has done a very effective job at controlling Brian's damage output,
but Brian has shielded up and gotten rid of damage. I mean, he's still full health. That's kind of crazy to.
It is, but I mean, if you think about it, Trey's essentially at full health as well with that endless ranks in hand and all those money generating supports on the table.
Yeah,
he can endless ranks almost whenever he wants now.
In best defense, like endless ranks is gonna another holdout. So yeah, I think Trey is looking to turn up the heat here, but Trey can definitely build up resources very quickly.
Oh wow! So 4 damage coming out of that stormtrooper, and it can't be removed.
Yeah, plus the 2 with the TIE pilot dice. So
where's that confidence when you need it?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, Trey's gonna start inflicting some damage here, which is exactly what he wants to do. There's another 2 for 1.
He doesn't have the extra resource to pay for it though.
Gonna back up muscle 1 over to Luke.
Yeah, just keep pounding away at him. Force Brian to spend all his energy keeping him alive.
Yep. So then he's gonna hit Ray for looks like what was that 6 more? I mean, I'm sorry, he's gonna hit Luke for 6 more.
5.
Yeah, after the shield comes off, right?
Well, it's gonna be...
Oh, that was a +1 on the
yes.
TIE pilot. I'm sorry, I was thinking it was +2. So
Luke should have.
He had 1 from backup muscle and 1 shield. So 2, 4, 5, 4. It should be at 5 damage.
Maybe that was a +2 on the TIE pilot.
I thought it was a +2 initially.
So Luke at half health and Trey has taken 7
Trey's definitely
out of his 30.
Yeah, Trey's definitely sitting on a better board.
Yeah, 30 health.
That 6 damage is what he needs to see. You know, 5 to 6 damage around is what Trey's looking for now.
So Brian really needs to get off of my alley as the Force here.
Yes.
I think. And his Luke is just not helping him.
No, Luke's rolling horrible, and doesn't look like he hit the draw activation either.
And Brian's only control option is guard, it looks like.
Yeah, so I think if you're Brian here, I think you roll in Ray. Make guard active in your hand,
So with Trey having both of those aftermaths on the board, and knowing that there's a potential that he's been holding on to endless ranks, do you try to just kill multiple characters at once?
Part of me says yes, Justin. Part of me says no. I mean, it's going to come eventually. Anyway,
As long
both
as
of his weapons are redeploy weapons. Both of his characters that have damage on them are the ones with the redeploy weapons. So, if you spread it out, you're still looking at all those dice at one time. I don't know. It's a tough question.
yeah, the way I think about it sometimes is that if they're paying for endless ranks, they're not doing other stuff. They're not playing upgrades.
Right.
They're not playing mitigation. But being able to just generate so much money with the underworld connections, the drudge work, and the 2 aftermaths, you know, like he can pretty much do whatever he wants.
Oh, there
at
we
this
go.
point.
The reroll on Luke actually gets him somewhere now. Is he holding a mile as a force still?
He is. So he doesn't like you coming down. He's just Trey's deciding which die to remove. Yeah, wants to keep the. Even though that TIE pilot rolled a blank, he would have liked to remove it, but he needs to keep it in the
Leaves
pool
it open for other mitigation if
for,
he does,
to control his opponent and what he can remove. But Brian could play My Ally as the Force and flip Luke to a 3 if he wanted to. It's not quite as powerful as the Obi-Wan combo with the 2 focus.
Right.
But it's still definitely a good option at times. So willpower coming out again. Heal Luke up.
Another willpower? I thought he'd already played 2.
I'm not sure. We'll have to go back and look.
We'll have to check. I'm pretty sure Trey would have caught that if it had been his 3rd one. I'm pretty sure Trey would have picked up on that.
Yeah, Trey.
I'm probably just mistaken.
Trey's a pretty good player at paying attention to what his opponents played, looking through their discard. But I mean, he's pretty much in control of the game. So
another 2 for 1. There's that damage Trey wants.
If his opponent played, an extra card, it's not the biggest deal, especially with Brian being a new player.
I mean, it's not a big deal, but I don't think it changes the outcome of this game.
I don't think so either. I mean, so pretty good reroll for Brian here.
Really good reroll.
Trey still has 2 resources to be able to play any control he possibly has.
So it looks like Brian has 4 unblockable on the board right now.
Which doesn't matter right now.
Yeah, no shields on Trey's side, but.
So Grant, one of our resident Luke Ray players for a long time, is saying that leaving characters alive to kill them all at once is a valid start for some decks, but impossible for Luke Ray. Yeah, I think. I mean, Luke Ray is just so good at focus firing and blitzing down single characters. I think Brian's been pretty unlucky with his rolls this game. You have to think if he was able to get 4 to 6 damage out on that Vibro Knife cheated roll in with Luke, it could possibly be a different game.
So we got a TIE pilot down, finally losing a character, but once again, Trey holding on to endless ranks. So
and getting 2 resources from Aftermath.
Yeah.
Did he remember that?
Yes, those are the 2 resources he has because he paid the other 2 for the second holdout blaster, I think. Right?
I'm not sure, but if he forgot him, then that's
I don't think Trey forgets something like that. There he goes. He remembered now. Yep, you're right. He remembered.
And
now.
he still hasn't used Underworld Connections, so he could endless ranks at the beginning of next round.
Yep. He could get really close this round with his drudge work. No, he's gonna go ahead
using
and
Underworld, and it looks like Brian has already claimed. So. Oh man, I'm a little worried for Luke here. All Trey needs is 3 damage, and he's got the resources to pay for any pay for damage sides and a couple cards to reroll.
And there it is.
3 damage.
Yep.
Or 4 damage.
Looks like 4. Yep. So bye. What? We're
discarding to reroll the holdout blaster into another blink.
Why would we discard
so
to
kill
reroll
Luke.
There? I don't know if I discard to reroll there personally.
He discarded because he doesn't need the drudge work. So just see if you can get something out of that holdout blaster die.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, he's in the lead, so
yeah, why not? Yeah, I got you. Why not?
Why keep a card you're not going to use and keep a blank that you don't want?
And I'm pretty sure we're about to see a sad face on Brian. Uh,
And he got the 2 resources for the Aftermath from killing Luke, so
yeah.
he's already back up to 6 resources.
He should be at 8 with the start of this round, right? Yeah. I think he should be at 8. No, maybe not. Maybe not.
Well, he had 2, and then he got the 2 from Aftermath.
And then he paid a baby blaster.
So well, he used the Underworld Connection resource to pay for the baby blaster, so 6 is what he's at.
Yeah.
And like I said, 1 die ray is a sad ray.
Definitely. Although if you're going to have a 1 die ray out, having a Makashi and a Vibro Knife on her isn't bad, and a Force Heal kind of helps.
I mean,
it's still an uphill battle. I'm not taking. Trey's definitely at an advantage right now. So, but if you had to have a 1 die ray, a Vibro Knife
and that's pretty good right there. 3 damage and a Force Heal special.
Nice.
And I don't think Trey is even worried about controlling.
Yeah, I don't think he's worried about mitigating. If he does anything, maybe the Force Heal special, but he hadn't done damage yet to Ray.
Ray's damage ceiling is so low, It's gonna be
2 for 1 and a shield. So just a 1 range and a shield on that first order.
I'm wondering if Trey doesn't have any mitigation and is rolling in that trooper to try to get double use out of his holdout blaster and use out of the trooper's die.
Maybe so.
Grant's asking if we think we'll see a new version of Ray in the next base set.
I think Ray's going to be around. She's always going to be around in some form or fashion as a support character. Her action cheating is just pretty good. It's just her action cheating is good. As long as Force Speed is played, you'll see Ray played, I think. So, oh man, Slave 1 coming out. No endless ranks, a Slave 1.
I mean, if you got the money.
That's what why bring back 1 character? I'm going to throw more damage at your face.
And Slave 1 is just such a great card, especially with TIE Pilot on the board. Being able to easily do 3 or 4 damage.
Well, TIE Pilot's gone.
That's true.
So, but still. And another backup muscle.
I imagine that TIE Pilot's going to come back pretty quickly.
Yeah. So where did his other backup muscle go? Did he just move it off to the side?
Yeah, he moved off to the side once it was used up.
So we're going to move 1 over with backup muscle.
And this is one of those things that Trey really likes to do is just, take all of his slow... And it's something I like to do, too, when I'm playing a slow deck, is when my opponent is passing constantly, just do all, the smallest actions you can that your opponent can't react to. And
right.
Sometimes, your opponent will just get infuriated with passing and just be like, all right, fine, I just claim.
And then you make them sorry for doing it. I'm sorry, Grant. Nah, I'm not sure if they're going to come out with a complete new version of Rey, like you're talking about with the Baby Vader and the Awakenings Vader. I would think if they did so, it's probably not going to be an Empire at War. I think they would wait till after this release of The Last Jedi. Until to kind of stick with the theme of now Rey's going to have some stronger abilities,
and they would probably end up putting that in the new base set.
Maybe so.
And I heard somebody talking that they thought that Fantasy Flight might want to rotate the base sets each year.
Yeah, I heard something along those lines, and that's something I think would be a good move to have, almost kind of like a core set, but you don't want the same core set coming out year after year. So yeah, I think that'd be a good move. So I think we could eventually see maybe a stronger version of Rey, but I don't think it's going to be at Empire at War. But I could be wrong. I don't work at Fantasy Flight, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's definitely not confirmed yet, so don't take our word for it.
All right, so
Brian rerolled his Makashi training die into a +2, so he's got 3 damage showing. And Trey's Enforcer is showing 4 damage.
Yep. Hit with the 4.
I mean, I really don't know what Brian could possibly do
There's
at
not
this point.
not. The only thing that swings this for Brian is Trey rolling.
Oh, he does have the Force Heal, and he's spending a resource to heal 2 damage.
Yep.
Force Heal, not a card you see a whole lot, but I mean, if you think about it, it provides a lot of
I told
value.
you, if you gotta have a 1-die Ray, why not have her with a force heal on her?
It provides a lot of value being able to essentially field medic every turn. Nobody says
Right.
that field medic is a waste.
Right.
Like, why is Force Heal such
Right.
a waste? It's got 2 special sides, 2 resource sides, and a shield side.
Mm-hmm.
All those sides are good.
Yep. Especially when you're in this situation, those sides are going to help you. Resources are going to give you access to mitigation. Shields and healing are going to, take care of some damage. So
I mean, would I rather have a vibro knife?
definitely.
Sure. But maybe only on like the action sheet turns. Like, and maybe this just
It's
comes
all
in-
situational.
Right.
If you really look
And
at
it
it, there are very few cards that don't have a situation where you're not going to want to. Every card has, well, if this specific situation happens, this would be a really super strong card. So you just kind of have to take it how it comes.
So Brian plays another guard, which it's really just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah,
Like, if you're not doing damage, you can't win the game
right.
unless you're milling. Which Ray does have a discard side, but one discard's not going to get you very far.
No.
And Vibroknife has a discard,
But he's also having fun, and that's what you want to do when you're playing. I'm fairly certain Brian looks across and goes, "Yeah, this is pretty much Trey's game, but I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna play my deck like I want to play it. I like mitigating die. I'm gonna mitigate his die, and then maybe sneak in some damage later. So,
just make his job harder for him.
Yeah.
than it has to be.
maybe you irritate Trey into quitting. You never know. It could happen. How many table flips have you had on TTS? So, it could happen.
Not a whole lot, but when it happens, it's
Kinda irritating, actually.
It's definitely surprising because I don't expect it.
Yeah.
Most of the opponents I see on TTS, are pretty good players and
Can
are
you
pretty patient. But
now? Can you kick somebody out on TTS if you're the host?
yes, you can.
Okay, so
Which is one of those benefits that's unfortunately not
fairly certain I
not
got
available in real life.
kicked out of a lobby last night on TTS when I was about to do lethal. The guy was kind of irritated. So,
It happens.
don't rage kick, guys. Let's be nice. We're all here to have fun.
So Trey rolls in, Slave 1. Looks like I got a 3 damage. So Brian's gonna override the Force Seal.
With another
Which-
vibro. See, Justin, he was listening to you. So now 2 actions. So we're gonna roll out and resolve, hopefully.
And hopefully it's a massive amount of
Massive
damage.
amount of damage.
He has the potential to do 7.
Yeah. So he can take out the first order that has damage or the first order that has no
so
damage.
he got 4,
Oh, they both have
which is
damage.
pretty good. So he can kill
Now with your second action,
the one stormtrooper at least.
yeah, I think here with my second action, if I had die mitigation, I go ahead and use it. If I had it, I'm not too sure what Brian's holding in his hand, or does he even have a hand?
I think he's just put it down because all the other cards on his hand are irrelevant.
Yeah. So Trey.
So it looks like Trey's explained to Brian that when you're resolving dice, you can resolve all of the same symbol at the same time.
but resolve
So
them
if you
separately.
have multiple melee sides out, you don't have to send all of that damage out a single target. You can split it between targets.
Yes, and a common mistake I made when I first started playing was actually thinking that if I wanted to send them at different targets, I had to resolve them on separate actions.
Exactly.
So
So you
that-
can use the same action to resolve all of them.
Right. And send them at different targets. You don't have to send them the same way.
And that helps also clarify that like when you do that, you need to send that modifier with a specific die and specify where you're sending it.
So looks like Trey's 2 damage away from taking this out. And
I mean, he has the backup muscle with 2 damage there.
yeah.
Brian's already played both his willpowers.
So essentially,
He took off his force heal.
yeah. Essentially, if Trey rolls 1 damage, game's over this turn. They're about to the timer's about to be up. So if it goes to rounds, Trey wins. Cause yeah, that's 14, 15, 16 to 20. So. Yep. So Trey needs just 1 ranged here.
So this match played it out about how I expected it would, except for, I mean, I didn't think that both players were going to have so much trouble pushing damage in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, not very much damage. Trey just struggled to put the damage out there.
I mean, Trey built up his board state with all of his money generating supports, and Brian was having to, play cards to gain shields and remove damage, but
and his Luke die were just horrible to him in the beginning of the game.
And Brian didn't see
another
Vibrant
underworld
Life.
connections. Trey, you have endless money. We get it, bro.
So this is the final round,
Yeah.
but
It looks like Trey's holding 2 ATSTs, so he may be trying to drop an ATST just to ensure that he gets that final damage in, maybe. I don't see why you wouldn't just roll
out the Enforcer. He's got so many dice.
Yeah. So Trey has 5 dice to roll out 1 unmodified range, one unmodified damage. So
looks like Trey just passed. I mean, he does have
What?
He does have the backup muscle, so. But I mean, just roll out the Enforcer. So
yeah,
instead of playing with your opponent like that.
yeah.
So.
But oh well, to each his own. It's all good. All right, so it looks like Trey takes that one down.
And it takes down the whole event
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, 2-0. So that means Trey's gonna take it. So, that was very labor intensive game, I guess is the best way to put it.
It was difficult to watch because I mean Trey was just in so much command
Yeah.
for the entire game.
Yeah.
And
Well, and not only that, it makes it even harder to see, him being in so much command for most of the game and still not being able to close it out quickly.
I mean, he didn't need to. Like, he had endless ranks, all the money generating supports. He had 2 redeploy weapons, Slave 1, and Ray had a vibro knife and a force heal.
The force heal, though. I love it. I love the force heal. All right, guys. So, I think we're going to stick around. We're going to end this stream. But I believe we're going to start up another stream and play some like casual round robin games.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Maybe I think Rob and I will get a chance
Yeah,
to
you'll get to
in
see
there.
us play a couple games. And I brought some jank, Justin.
Oh, really?
I brought some jank.
I look forward to seeing it.
It's gonna be fun. So we appreciate everybody watching, guys. Drop us any suggestions you might have. Don't forget, next week we're gonna be announcing this new content
And we're here every single Sunday.
Every Sunday, 2
2
p.m. Star Wars Sunday at Ettin Games, guys. Star Wars Sunday at Ettin Games. So, y'all guys shoot some messages. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like.
Keep the Twitch comments coming.
Yeah,
we
love the Twitch
We love
comments.
hearing from you guys and responding and interacting with our viewers. So
It's fun for us, guys.
In addition-
we love y'all. We love this. So
in addition to our Destiny stream on Sunday, there's also Friday Night Magic streams on Friday and Saturday night. Friday is standard, I believe.
yeah,
and Saturday is modern.
Friday's F&M and Saturday is modern here at Ettin.
And they start at
Fridays at 7 p.m. I believe.
Saturdays at 6:30.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
So if you're into Magic, guys, come back. Definitely, follow us on Twitch. It'll send you a little message every time we start streaming. And Chad and those guys that do the Friday Night Magic and the Saturday Magic streaming, awesome, very knowledgeable.
Great guys.
Great guys. Fun to watch.
Too bad they don't play Destiny.
Yeah, I've been trying to slowly convert Chad. Slowly. I don't think it's working, but I'm not going to give up. So, all right, guys. Well, give us a few minutes to get everything set up. We're going to come back, play some casual games, but we are going to start a new stream with it. So this stream's going to end, guys. So hang around and start watching this next stream. If y'all have something y'all'd like to see, if we have that deck built, which between most of the guys here, we have a lot of the decks built. So, if there's a specific matchup you want to see, feel free. Shoot us a message, let us know, and we'll do our best to accommodate you there. And thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
And we'll see y'all here in a little bit.